Today's video is a story about how I discovered I was vindictive. My people, I didn't know. I used to feel like everyone was the problem, well, except me. There was always a reason, one fault or the other, for how something happened or why something didn't go right. And I never took the blame for anything. I was always defensive till I had this conversation with someone. I grew up in a home where there were lots of children, and there was just always one thing that went missing or something that was not done properly. You come into the kitchen, who broke this dish? Mr. Nobody. Who did this? Mr. Nobody. Who left the pot on the fire for so long? Mr. Nobody. Because there were a lot of people. And growing up in such a household and being the first girl in a Nigerian home where you were expected to be the assistant mother, it did a lot to me. It meant that I had to grow up quite faster than my other siblings because responsibilities were on me. I had an older brother, but you know how the saying goes, the woman is the mother of the household. So it was etched into my head way before I even grew up to think for myself. And in such a place where you took the blame for everything, it meant you had to consistently keep watching what others did to be sure they were doing it correctly. But another thing was brewing up in my life. I was growing defensive. Because at some point I felt weighed down. I felt like I was doing too much for my age. I would cook, I would ensure my siblings had their bath when we returned from school, and our parents were still outside on their businesses. They were both ministers of the gospel and then business people, so they were rarely at home during the afternoon when we returned from school. It meant that when something happened at home and I couldn't account for it, I came up with a mechanism. I had to defend myself. Over time, I built this persona for myself that was invincible. There was nothing you were ever going to blame me for because I always had a response ready on hand for you. Why is this not working? I will give you 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. Why is that not working? There were always reasons. I was always on the defensive. And with that attitude came other things like lying as well. And I was being manipulative to my siblings too. I didn't even know I had vindictive tendencies till I got into the university. In my second year, I met a sister in my campus fellowship. She was a student of guidance, counseling, and psychology. She was like, are you aware you have this trait in you? You never apologize for wrong. You are never sorry. You will never admit to being responsible for any fault. And I would say that was the Holy Spirit leading me to a place of recovery and transformation, because for some reason I paid attention. I was listening to her. I was taking note of everything she was saying. And after having that conversation, I went to pray. I prayed and asked the Holy Spirit to help me. And almost like a veil had covered my eyes. I could literally see myself for who I was. I could see how that it was ruining my relationships with people. I was getting easily offended. I was always feeling like others were the problem. I was never the problem. This person is the one at fault. If you had been a lot more careful with this, if you had not spoken to me that way, if you had not done this, if you had not done that, I was always looking at other people without looking inwards. And that's the number one trait of a vindictive person. They see everyone else as the problem except themselves. I began to pay more attention to the work of the Holy Spirit in me in terms of my relationship with other people, and enrolled for classes on emotional and schema intelligence. And so far, I would say that from the observation of other people, because I kept checking in with others, what do you think of me? What is your opinion? And I would always reassure them that whatever they said, I would not be offended. I won't take an offense in it. I just wanted to know how well I was coming on this journey to be tracing my steps from being vindictive. And so far, from all the feedback I have received over the years, I would say that I am a far cry from that person I used to be. Though there is still a lot of work to be done, and I trust that the Holy Spirit is still in the work of transforming me. But at the moment, I would say I am not the person I used to be. Though I am not where I want to be, I see myself getting to a point where I am emotionally mature to handle situations. It is still a journey. I am still in progress. But this is so much more relieving than who I used to be. Now I handle relationships better. I am able to manage conflict better. I am able to appreciate the people God has sent into my life as friends and associates. I hope you enjoyed this tale of mine. Remember, your life is a journey. It's an upward progression. Give God the room to build you, to groom you, to make of you what He wants you to be. And believe me, when you shoot up like someone on a launch pad, the world is not ready for what hits them. If you found value in today's video, please leave a comment and I will be sure to respond. Do not forget to like and share this video so it gets to the reach of people